Hey everyone, Grandmaster Ben Finegold here, very casual. Got my Nike shirt on. I'll just make a video, just do it. Um, yeah, I didn't feel like getting my microphone because I'm lazy. I do have iced tea though, so I did something good. This will be a very casual kind of video. I did make one yesterday because I was busy, very busy. Um, this couch hasn't been slept on that long in quite a bit. Um, let's see. Yeah, my wife's taking a shower, so I can make a video. Although I can actually hear like the water running, but you guys can't hear anything because you guys are always complaining you can't hear. A lot of you need hearing aids and to buy new computers and stuff and speakers because you guys have a lot of hearing problems based on your comments to the videos. Because I listen to my videos afterwards and everything's fine. But all right, I'm slightly less crazy than you guys. I'm going to show a game I played a few years ago in one of the Spice Cups. It's funny. When I played in the Spice Cup at Texas Tech, when Susan Polgar was there, I tied for first in two. Actually, no, I won one of them. I tied for first in one of them, and I came in last place in one of them. And I think I played in another one. And this is the one I came in last. I only won one game, and I think I lost 5. I think I did. And I lost to people that I've never lost to before or never will. Ugh. So sometimes you have a bad tournament. This game I also could have lost. So this is a game I played against Dean Ippolito, the Dean of American Chess. And it's a very strong IM. His USTF rating has been over 2540, I believe. His FIDE rating is usually in the mid-2400s. And for some reason, which I don't understand, I played black and a Nimzo-Indian. Wonder why I did that. Okay. I think he plays this with white, and I had like some special prep, but I'm not sure what it was. So I've never had this position with black. This is like a main line. Knight f3 is not a very common move, I don't think. Okay, so this is like sort of not very interesting yet. Knight d2, f3 is an idea, although I'm not sure why you wouldn't play f3 right away. But okay. c5, f3, d5. Again, I don't know the theory of this line, and I probably knew it when the game was played. It was probably just special prep for the game, but I don't play either side of this. Okay, takes, bishop d3, rook e8. Okay, so this is actually quite funny, and this is one of those things, again, that I don't agree with the engine. Well, actually, I haven't looked at it with this engine. This is, 3, 4, 5 years ago engine, but I'm sure this will say the same thing. So my opponent castled, and I had a long think here about what to do. I guess I could just play a normal move like rook c8, like a chess move. But, okay, I played rook e3 after having incredibly long calculation, where the computer says I'm right, but I was wrong in what I was thinking. But the computer still says rook e3 is fine. Okay, obviously there's some bishop h7 tricks because, my rook's hanging. And if he doesn't play those tricks, I just took a center pawn. So I know what's going to happen. So he played bishop f6, which is correct. If he plays bishop h7 right away, I actually take with the knight. He can't take my rook because I take his bishop, and I have 2 pieces and a pawn for a rook. And if he takes my queen, and I take his queen, I'm a piece up here. And if he takes my rook, I take his bishop. And once again, I have 2 pieces and a pawn for a rook. So he has to take my knight first. Okay, and he did. And then I take with the queen. He wins my rook. And then I get my second pawn for the exchange. I assumed he would put me in check. And then I get out of check. Okay, and I saw this position when I played rook takes e3. I have 2 pawns for the exchange. My pawns are doubled and isolated. And my analysis was, if he plays knight b3 to win my pawn back, I play knight c5. And he can't take my pawn with anything. Takes with a queen, I win his knight. And if he takes with a knight, I win his queen. And if he takes my knight, okay, now I like black. And so knight b3 didn't make sense. And I said, if he doesn't play knight b3, attacking my d-pawn, I'll play knight c5 and bishop a6 and d3. So I said, okay, he probably doesn't want me to play knight c5. So he'll play b4, which he did. And this is where I realized what an idiot I was. Although I probably realized it 20 years earlier. When I played rook takes e3, my intention was to go knight e5, and I knew he couldn't take this because this wins his queen, because I'm attacking his king and queen, a lot. And then I realized when he played b4, maybe before, that he just takes with a knight and defends his queen. Okay, so once b4 was played, he's simply going to play knight b3, take on d4, and I'm losing. I'm down the exchange for a pawn. My bishop's bad. His knight's great. I've isolated pawn. Okay, so now I went into crazy mode. The computer just says, play knight f8, play knight e6, defend your pawn, and black's fine. I don't know if today's engines say that. That's what they said at the time. Okay, maybe. Seems like if he plays knight b3 and rook d1, I'm just going to lose my pawn. All right. So here I went crazy, which is good because that's good for you guys. I played a5. Obviously, if his b pawn isn't there, I can play knight c5. And he played knight b3. I played bishop a6. The other point of a5. And now I'm guessing even you at home can figure out what white did here. If he moves his queen, I take his rook. So he played b5. Okay. And now I played the move you're all waiting for, the reason you're watching this video, although you should be watching it for other reasons. I played knight c5. And when he trades knights and takes my bishop, he's ahead of rook. But I have this monster pawn center. It's not good for black, but it's very difficult to play for white. It's much better, I think, than just being down the exchange for a pawn and losing. This is just like weirdness, basically, especially for a human. For a computer, it really likes white, but I think... Now, after the game, Dean was complaining since I won. He was trying to get a GM norm. He was having a good tournament. I was having a bad tournament, sort of like when I played Akshat Chandra in the last round 3 days ago. And... when I won the game, he was furious and he was completely winning. Now, at this point, Ray Robson was working with Onishuk. Onishuk was his coach. And they were at the tournament. And when I was telling him how Dean Ippolito said he was completely winning and rawr. And when I showed the game, Onishuk just started laughing. He's like, this is the craziest position ever. You can't say you're completely winning. It doesn't make any sense. Of course, if you're a supercomputer, then you're probably winning. All right, so I played c4 because c4 is explosive. And I took on a6. So I have 3 pawns for a rook. And Dean played great. Dean played all the right moves. Played rook b1 because the rook's great on b1. It's terrible on a1. Played d3. Played rook b5, which is great. Wants to take all my weak pawns. Played d4. I said, okay, you can take my a pawn. I'll keep my center pawns. Played rook c1, which is great. If he takes my c4 pawn, I'm dead, and I can't move my c4 pawn because my pawn on d3 would be hanging. So I defended it. And he played rook c5. So yeah, he's really playing well. He's attacking my c pawn, he's attacking my a pawn, and my rook on a6 isn't so helpful. Okay, so far Dean's played great. Can't complain about Dean's play. Queen e3 check, he has to trade. Okay, this is actually pretty funny. So I've shown this position in lectures at the chess club in St. Louis, probably like 3 years ago. And I've shown it to a lot of good players. And the only person who solved it, I gave him a hint. I said, white's a play and win, only a computer can find the answer. And the person who solved it was Nigel Short. He found the right move. And of course, saying only a computer could solve it was very helpful. I think during a game, you can't find. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the only bad move Dean made until later when he wasn't winning anymore. So when he said he was completely winning, he's basically winning here. And it's a move that probably 1% of humans would find. So it's not completely winning, sort of a silly statement. Pause your video and try to find the only winning move for white. Oh, wait, I have iced tea. Okay, the answer, obviously, is not what he did, king f1. After that, it's a draw. The answer is rook a1. I'm sure you were thinking of that. Okay, the idea behind rook a1 is actually very obvious once I explain it. When I push my pawns to the 7th rank, I'm not going to attack your rook and gain a tempo because you played rook a1. So, yeah. So, for example, if e2, then king f2, and, yeah. If I play rook e6, play king e1, nothing. Just takes the c pawn and then just wins all my pawns. If I play d2, king f1, king e2, my c pawn's hanging, I got nothing. Yeah. And let's see, what's the other variation? If all the other variations are my c pawn's hanging, so anyway, rook a1, the computer says something like plus 2.5 for white. Okay. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute. Rook b1, also the pawns can't attack the rook. That's correct. However, rook b1 loses a tempo because I play rook b6 at some point, and you can't take my rook because my pawn's all queen. You use your rook on the back rank. So rook b1 does not win. Okay, so he obviously didn't play rook a1 because nobody would. He played king f1 because that looks like you want to move your king there. This actually loses a tempo because of the variation I showed you first. After rook a1, e2, he plays king f2. His king gets to f2 in one move, but he played king f1, so he's losing a tempo. Now he can't go to f2 in one move, takes two moves. Okay, so I played rook b6, the only move that draws. Obviously, he can't take on c4. Actually, he could take on c4 with that rook. I was going to say rook b1's mate, but he just goes back to c1. So that was a silly statement. But the idea is I'm going to play my rook to b2, and then I have this perpetual draw, which should have happened but didn't. He played rook c4, leaving his other rook on the back rank. I played rook b2. He played rook d4. I checked. Obviously, if he plays king e1, I have d2 check. I take his rook. My rook takes all his pawns. So he played king g1. And now d2. And this should be a very simple draw now. There's basically no play left. The reason it's a draw is he can move his rook anywhere on the first rank except where he moved it. So these three squares are fine. Let's go here, I don't know. Okay, and then e2 loses because he takes my rook, and pawns look good, but there are not going to be any pawns in two more moves. And obviously d1 is silly, so I have to play rook e2, threatening rook e1, he plays king f1, and we have a draw. And in fact, it doesn't matter where his rook goes, d1, b1, a1, they're all draws. Okay, he saw that. He knew it was up, but he didn't want to draw, he wanted to win. Okay, and sometimes when you play for the win, sometimes you lose. And he was in time trouble. So he played rook f1, and he thought he was winning. He saw every variation all the way to the end except the last move. He missed one move. Actually reminds me of a funny story. It's funny because it wasn't me. Kaidanov was playing in Vegas, I think, in either the North American or National Open. And he played a really long combination, many, many moves. And then at the end, his opponent made a move he didn't see, so he had to resign. So that can happen. You miss like one move at the end. Now, obviously, after rook f1, white can't play king f1. So now I just play here and rook e1 and I win. Or as Dean thought, I lose. And the reason Dean thought I lost, obviously, if I play rook e1 and then I play e2, that's not good for white. Okay, so he played check because he can't play rook b4 because I'm defending b4. And he played rook b8. And then he played rook b1, and he thought he's winning. In fact, he is winning, except that he's losing. If black doesn't make the winning move here, then white's winning. There's four moves that white should analyze. He just didn't look at one of them. The other three, white wins. So Dean thought he was winning here. And after my next move, he realized he was losing. It's just a time trouble error. In fact, I've beaten Dean I believe, 3 times in my life, like 3 that I remember. And, well, the first one, he was like 2,200. It's a long time ago. The other 2 were just because of time trouble, like horrible time trouble. I never beat him because I played better than him. Just it's in time trouble. And that happens to me, too. I get into time trouble, and then I hang everything. Okay, so you could pause your video if you want. I've been talking a long time, so probably you solved it. Black to play and win. Hopefully you played the right move, because the wrong moves I'll lose. Rook takes b1. He forgot my rook could take that rook. And then obviously e2, and then that's it. Okay, so let's look at the other moves. If I take on f1, he takes with the king, and then I resign. If I queen, he just takes it, and I resign. And if I play e2, he just takes my rook, and I resign. So the only move he really didn't look at was the move that was played. Rook takes b1, and then e2, and I win. So I was probably about equal out of the opening early middle game, and then I was much worse or lost, and then I was drawing after he let me play rook b6, rook b2, and then trying too hard to win in time trouble, he made a blunder and lost. It's funny, that was the only game of the tournament I won, was this crazy game where I played very suspiciously. Friend of mine, Wes Berger, who's a friend of my dad's and bridge player, chess player, very good at both, backgammon player. At chess, he was 2,300 at his peak, and that was a long time ago. This was in the 60s, and he's won rated games against Vlastimil Hort and Florian Gorgiou when they were both really good, probably top 20 in the world, both of them. Wes told me the reason I'm good at chess is I make I make good mistakes. So I make moves that aren't good, and they lead to victories, such as in this game when I was giving my rook away and getting a lot of passed pawns. The computer didn't like it, but it's hard to play white. And I think in the last tournament I played, if you remember my games, against Irene Sukandar, the worst thing that I did, which was knight takes d4, then knight b5, that led to my victory. Her next move was a mistake. If she had played the correct move, she would have been winning. So sometimes you make bad moves and your opponent just easily punishes you because every move is good. So those aren't mistakes that are good. But sometimes you make mistakes and the refutation is so hard to find and it puts so much pressure on your opponent that often they fail and then you won the game because of your mistake. So that's not, I guess, a good reason to be a good chess player, that you make good mistakes, but I do win a lot of games because I make moves that are mistakes, but my opponents don't know how to punish them, or I don't know either. And then after the game, we're like, oh yeah, it would have crushed me. I try not to do that, but as you all know, trying is the first step to failure. Well, that game was played about 5 years ago, but I still remember all those passed pawns. That was fun. If I had lost, it would have been less fun. Well, this is Grandmaster Ben Finegold in my casual video of the day. I'll dress better tomorrow. I'll have a suit and tie. It'll be beautiful. Please donate. It looks like we're really getting a place now. The place we wanted to get fell through, not due to us, and we found a better place. It's slightly more expensive, but it's much bigger and nicer neighborhood, better parking, better bathrooms. The place is better. So it looks like we're going to have a nice chess center opening in September. So we need your donations so that we can pay the rent and stuff and have chess sets. It'd be funny to come to our chess center. There's no sets and clocks. Bring your own sets and clocks. Rawr. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's going to be beautiful. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Like and subscribe to my son's channel. Unlike me, my son listens to you. He doesn't have a wife. He has a girlfriend who tells him what to do. But he actually listens to your suggestions. So if you follow my son's channel and there's certain things that you like, the important thing is if you comment, like, this sounds not good, get a better microphone, and then he says, I've ordered a microphone, it's coming, the next day you should say the same thing, because that's the kind of comments you guys leave. I think like 10 people write, you should get a better microphone. He always responds, I'm getting a better microphone. Then they just do it again. So good job. Good commentary. I ignore your comments and delete them. He actually follows your advice. So follow my son's channel. It'll get better. And he's actually more computer savvy than I am. So he'll have more stuff and he'll be doing things. I'm going to try to do live stream. I downloaded some software to do that. I don't know how it works yet, but I'll do it eventually. I saw John Bartholomew did it yesterday, and that was interesting to watch. There were a lot of people watching, considering. So I'll start doing that eventually. And also, I'm going to be doing, well, this is still business is still happening, but it's likely for the U.S. Championship, which starts next week, and U.S. Women's Championship. I'm going to be doing recap videos of the game of the day for Chess 24. We're actually discussing the business side of that, but I think it'll be okay. So check for that on Chess 24. I'll let you know when it's 100%. And I'm going to start making videos again for chess.com. I'm going to make 2 videos a month, sort of like these videos. And I'm also going to do a recap of the Pro Chess League, which ends this weekend. We're playing Montreal on Saturday. When we win, we're going to play either Norway or Stockholm. I assume Stockholm, but Norway could win. So if you want to see me beat Fabiano Caruana and Magnus Carlsen this weekend, tune in to chess.com and watch the Pro Chess League live. And then when the U.S. Championship ends, sometime between April 15th and April 20th, I'm going to make a recap video of the Pro Chess League from the champions' point of view. Not the Miami champions, the actual champions, the St. Louis Archbishops. From the season, from the Archbishop's point of view, how Wesley So beat everybody, how, Nicholas Rosenthal killed it on board 4, how I had a really good score with black against all these GMs, but not so good with white, and, how we were sort of solid the whole season. So you're going to check out chess.com, chess24, check out my son's YouTube page, check this page out, go to Facebook. I don't know how you guys have a life. You got so much to do for me. Okay, and don't forget to donate. Then we can keep making the channel. Donate to my son. He needs the money more than I do. And like that. All right, tomorrow I'll dress a little bit better, not too much. But, okay, see you guys tomorrow.